You know that nervous, slightly panicky feeling before an interview? Yeah, I used to get it too, until a mentor told me, you're not nervous, you're just unprepared. And that hit me hard because he was right, and most people walk into interviews hoping they'll wing it, but real confidence comes from preparation. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly how to prepare properly so that you don't just feel ready, you are ready. So let's get into it. So step one, don't just research the company, study the people. Yes, start with the company website, check their mission, their values, their leadership team, then head to LinkedIn, look up people already doing the job that you want. Look at their manager, their peers, even their past employees. What do they say about their work? What tools do they mention? What skills come up again and again? If everyone mentions a particular software platform, agile workflows, or cross-functional collaboration, guess what should show up in your answers too? You got it. All of those things seem simple, and here's the good news. You're no longer limited to Google and LinkedIn. Now you've got ChatGPT, and you can literally ask, what are the key challenges currently facing, and then insert the company name or industry. Or based on the company's website and recent press, what trends and priorities should I be aware of before interviewing? And within seconds, you'll have a deeper understanding of their goals, pain points, and priorities beyond what's on their about page. Now, this is doing your homework properly. You'll not only have your finger on the pulse of what's going on with the company, but you can speak using the same language and terminology that they do. Now, step number two is to read the job description like it's a cheat sheet, because it really is. And most people skip it, but you need to know that I literally made hundreds of thousands of dollars as a recruiter simply by matching people's skills and experience to the job description. So look, you're going to break it down, even print it out if you need to, but go through it and highlight the key skills and repeated themes. Then ask yourself, have I done this? Where have I done this? What story do I have that proves I've done this? Go into as much detail as you can, because you can bet your bottom dollar they'll build their questions from that job description. So use it to reverse engineer. Then once you've done that, move on to step three, building a story bank. Now, you don't always need perfect answers. You need real ones. And the best way to prep is to build out stories in advance. Use the STAR method. So situation, task, action, result. Now, if you're new around here or simply want to brush up on how the STAR method works, I've done a whole video on how it works and will drop a link in the description below. The point is that you should aim to identify potential scenarios and examples that demonstrate your skills in each of the areas you identified as important in step two. And don't forget to quantify your results whenever possible using numbers, percentages, or measurable metrics. So yeah, build a story bank of as many examples as necessary. A mix of achievements, challenges, collaborations, problem solving. So whatever they ask, you've got something locked and loaded. And again, if you want a shortcut, use this ChatGPT prompt. It will do 80% of the heavy lifting. So jump onto ChatGPT and type in this prompt. So I'm preparing for a job interview and need your help. Here are the details, and then insert the job title, industry, field, even the job description. Then say, I want you to generate the top 10 most likely interview questions, both behavioral and role specific. Suggest ideal structures for answering each question, e.g. using the STAR method for behavioral technical breakdowns. Ask me questions about my experience and offer model answers I can study. Provide tips on how to personalize answers to reflect my experience. Now give it 30 seconds and you'll have a customized prep guide that's actually useful. Now in step four, we're going to flip vague questions back to them. Now, another way to be prepared and stay in control of the interview is by using what's called Socratic questioning. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it means reversing the question and handing it gently back to the other person so you get the clarity you need before answering. Now, here's a quick example, and this question almost always comes up in some way, shape, or form, and it's the one that you need to be prepared for. I'm talking about the tell me about yourself question. Now, I've got a full video on this, but to summarize, instead of diving into your life story and hoping that you don't ramble, say something like, sure, happy to. And just to make sure I focus on what's most relevant, would you like a quick overview of my professional background, what I enjoy outside of work, or something else? Now, that one sentence does a lot. You've just bought yourself a moment to breathe, taken control of the conversation, and given them 3 options which will lead to the stories you have prepared in advance for each. Pretty clever, right? Okay, so give that a try, and remember, this can work with other questions too. So try it anytime a question feels too broad. Clarify first, then answer with precision. Now, step 5, say it out loud. Reading your notes in your head doesn't count. You need to speak out loud with your actual voice. Record yourself answering a few questions. You could do this with a coach, with a friend, or you could even record yourself and watch it back. Yes, it's awkward, but do it anyway. This is the job search equivalent of pro athletes watching tape. So ask yourself, did I actually answer the question? Did I ramble? Did I sound clear? Would you hire yourself? You're not aiming for perfect, you're aiming for prepared and personable. And that's what wins. And if you like my style, why not check out my CGA program where you can get my one-to-one support. So not only can you say your answers out loud, but you can get constructive feedback on where you can make improvements. I'll drop a link in the description below. Now, on the topic of questions, you should also prepare to ask better questions of your own. So step 6, ask better questions. When they say, do you have any questions for us? Most people waste it. They ask, what's the culture like? Or what's a typical day? But you can do better. Try some questions that will help you establish your own value, or ask questions that require the interviewer to think about their response rather than just giving you cookie cutter answers. So you could ask, what do your top performers do differently? Or what's been the biggest challenge for the team recently? What's changed in the company over the past year? Or a more personal one, what's one thing you feel is better about the company now compared to when you joined? Now, these sorts of questions will separate you from most, as well as preparing you for what is next. So step 7 is to lock down the follow-up plan in advance. Don't leave the room wondering what happens next. Too many people do this and it leaves them in no man's land. So write this next set of questions down and take them in as part of your notes if needed. Okay, so ask, what are the next steps? When will you receive feedback on your interview? Who will you hear back from if successful? And if you don't hear back in the time frame they mention, is it okay to follow up by email? By asking these questions, you can confidently walk out of your interview knowing when to expect a response and what the next steps are. Not only that, but you now have a clear timeline and plan of action if you don't hear back, okay? Now for a few formalities. So step 8, get the tech and timing right if your interview is in person. So leave early, plan your route. If you get anxious, why not do a dummy run? Travel to that location, grab a coffee, familiarize yourself with the journey and the location. It will leave you with less to think about on the day, and you can show up calm, not sweaty. Now, for those interviews that are online, as so many are nowadays, update your Zoom and Teams beforehand. Make sure that your laptop is fully charged. Test your mic, your camera, clean your lens. Don't show up as iPhone user 64. Believe me, no matter how much the interviewer tries to assure you that it's okay that we all have tech issues, it's not okay. Now, other tips are to set your name right, sit facing a window and look into the webcam. Now, these details sound small, but they're not. The whole job search process is a game of percentages and a lot of small things that all add up, which actually brings me nicely onto step number 9, dress accordingly. Now, the goal is to be remembered for what you said, not what you wore or didn't. So wear something clean, simple or polished. Essentially, I advise wearing what you would actually wear if you were doing the job. And by that, I mean doing the job while sitting alongside your boss close to a performance review, not what you'd wear while doing the work remotely on a cold winter's morning. So lay it out the night before, make sure it fits, make sure you feel good in it. If you feel confident, you'll sound confident, and that's the point. Now, finally, for step 10, always aim to calm calm your nerves before your interview. Do something that helps you relax. Listen to music, watch something funny, take a short walk, stretch, breathe. Because when you're anxious, your mind can go into panic mode. You start worrying about forgetting everything you've prepared, and then weirdly you do. It's called the law of reversed effort. The more you try to force yourself to remember, the more your brain freezes up. Think back to your school exams. Remember that? You'd be cramming right before the test, stressing about forgetting something, only to blank the moment the paper hits your desk. Then 10 minutes after the exam, boom, all the answers come flooding back. That's what stress does. So instead of pushing harder, pull back. Get yourself into a calm, grounded state. Don't put pressure on being perfect. If you feel relaxed, the interviewer will feel it too. And here's something most people forget. They might be nervous as well. And with that, I want to highlight one last point to help. And I say this to all of my clients. If you've been invited to interview, that means they already think you can do the job. And 9 times out of 10, they want you to get the job just as much as you do. Your resume made the cut. Now it's about showing them who you are in the room or on the screen. So just focus on being curious, confident, clear, and human. Because at the end of the day, they just want to confirm that you can do the job and check whether or not they could see themselves working with you. That's it. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, if you want to work with me directly, just head over to my website, careergrowthwithlucy.com, where you can watch a quick video on how everything works and book a call to speak to me. I'll see you soon.